Hello everyone, and welcome back to Year 8 Mathematics. My name is Victor, and today we're going to be studying about gradients. So, when we graph lines, some are flat, some are steep, so some do go uphill and some do go downhill. In mathematics, we use a specific number to measure how steep a line can be. And we call this number a gradient, or we can call this a slope as well. In America, they call it a slope, but again, I'm gonna use gradient here just for the consistency in Australian mathematics. So let's look at the first example right here. I've drafted them all out for you guys. Is that if you look at this line right here, it is going uphill. To find its gradient, we need to pick any two perfect points on the line where it crosses the grid perfectly. And here is our first point, 1 at 1 comma 1, and here's another one at 3 comma 5. You can see the x-axis and the y-axis right here. And so what we have is a rule, the golden formula. It is that gradient equals rise divided by run. That's the golden formula. Gradient equals the vertical rise, which is here, divided by the horizontal run between 2 points. What does that mean? Let us start at the lower point. How far can we rise vertically to get level with the second point? Right? How do we get there? How do we reach here? Vertically. So we go from 1 up to 5, and that is a rise of positive 4. We can see that right here, rise 4. And then for the next one, how far do we have to run horizontally to reach the second point? We go from 1 across to 3, and that will give us a run of 2. And so what we have is our gradient for the first example will be the rise, which is 4, divided by the horizontal run between 2 points, which is 2, and we will have our gradient of 2. This means that for every one step you take to the right, the line goes up by 2 steps. As you can see right here, if I go from 1 to 2, this will show this point right here, and this will be exactly at 2 to 3. As you can see, I rose 2 points here, and then 3 is over here. I'm mapping it out, so as you can see right there, so that is a run. So that is the first line. Let's look at a different line. Let's look at a downhill line, a negative gradient. Positive goes up, negative goes down. That is your rule of thumb right there. So if you're reading a line from left to right, like reading a book, and if it's going down, its gradient must be a negative number. If you calculate a positive number, then you may be making a mistake. So please do check your recheck your calculations, of course. So let us pick 2 points. I've already picked those 2 points right here. 0, 4 for our first point, and then 4, 0. This is going to be our second point. Let's start at the left point. So to get level with the second point, we don't rise up. We actually have to drop down. So we drop all the way from 4 here on the y-axis down to 0 over here. A drop is a negative rise. So the rise is negative 4, even though it says rise, but again, it is vertical. Think of it as verticality of its verticality, not as it actually going up. Let's continue with the run. It is always calculated from moving to the right. So from left to right, from 0 to 4, we run across from 0 to 4. The run will be positive 4. So we got our first positive number here on the downhill line. Again, repeating our rule, rise over run. We have rise, which is negative 4, the first number, and run, which is the positive number. And if you remember back in year 7, we have, or year 6, a negative divided by a positive is a negative. So 4 divided by 4 is 1, of course. And then if you add a negative here, it's going to be a -1. A gradient, this gradient is going to be a -1 because it's going downhill. So today's habits, very simple. There's not much to write. There's no real workspace here. It's just always remember the formula rise over run. And always check the direction. Positive goes up, negative goes down. I'll see you in the next video where I actually connect the gradient back a little bit to algebra. I'll see you there. Thanks for watching.